Welcome to the Journey to Happy podcast, a podcast dedicated to help you in the process of getting out of your own way and letting go of the mental barriers that have been self created that stand on the way of you and the emotional freedom and happiness that you so desire. I am Olga, your host, and in here I'm going to offer you raw but real examples that will help you step into the shoes of becoming the CEO of your own life. Because let's face it, in a world where you can be anyone you want, why not promote yourself to the CEO position? I cannot wait to see you inside. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Journey to Happy. My name is Olga. I'm your host. And as always, I am very excited to have you here with me listening. I wanted to start today by thanking the listeners who are actually going into my Instagram and saying hello. For those of you who do not do that, please do it. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. So you can find me at Olga's Point Way. I grabbed this message from one of the messages I got last week, and I really wanted to share with you because I found it inspiring. So this listener says, "Hello, Olga. I first heard you talk when you gave a talk about becoming the CEO of your own life. What a fantastic talk. You're so inspiring. Since then, I've been listening to many of your podcasts, and I thoroughly enjoy them. I listened tonight to the mindset as we close 2020 and enter a new chapter in our lives in 2021. I would like to share my word with you. It is growth. I am on a personal growth journey and cannot wait for everything that 2021 has to offer. Thank you for sharing your inspiration with so many around you." I want to say to you, thank you for reaching out and for making a statement of your word. There is so much power when we actually take the time to write it down and make it be known, because we're making a declaration. This is it. This is my word, and I mean it so strongly that let me share that with somebody else. If you guys missed my podcast last week, go back to it. It is how to close the year with a strong mindset, and something that I encourage every single one of you guys to do. And in this podcast, I want to elaborate on the creation of new habits. Okay, if you're anything like me, you're probably already rolling your eyes every time you see a new advertisement of new year, new resolutions. Let's get working on, it just sounds like propaganda. Everybody wants to make a sale, and everybody's trying to tell you that you should really just join that gym membership or whatever. The reality is that yes, we are going to be presented with a full new year, 365 days that we can choose to do whatever we want with those days. I personally encourage people to start thinking about where they're at in the different areas of their life and what habits brought them to that. Over the last week, I've been coaching my clients to think very much so about what was successful for them this year. I am super proud to say that all of my clients who have been coached by me, whether in one of my group settings or individually, are closing this year with nothing less than progress. Every single one of them has made progress towards the goals that they set to work on. And I think that's incredible, because pandemic and all, so many of them are thriving, not just doing well, thriving, which is what we aim in my coaching programs. We aim to thrive, to be better than good. And they are. So it's easy when things are going well to not stop and think, okay, hold on, how did I get here? So my coaching clients know I sound like a broken record whenever they tell me, oh no, I had a great week. That is not the end of that sentence. I always go back to, really, what made it so good? I want every single one of my clients and you guys listening to think about the habits that you perform on a regular basis that actually bring you to that happy place, that bring you to that success, that made the week be a good week. When it comes to self-help, we are so used to focusing on what's not working. Oh, this is the mistake I made. And I also appreciate people becoming aware of that, because this is what mistakes are for. They teach us. So once we learn the lesson, you can't pretend you don't know what you know. But we often make the mistake of lose sight of the things that we've done well. So all of my clients were given the question of what were your greatest accomplishments, actually all of your accomplishments this year. So they had to write a long list of all the things they accomplished, big and small. And then they had to answer, what was the thing that created the most success for them? What did they engage in that brought the most success for them? After they answered that, I asked them to say what was the thing that helped them, especially during difficult times, especially when they didn't feel like doing the work, especially when things got really hard in their personal or professional life. And that brought them back to really becoming mindful and aware of their habits. And this is what I want to talk about with all of you guys today, is bringing awareness to your habits. So what I want you to do is, maybe if you're driving and listening to this, just make a mental note to come back to this podcast maybe. But if you are sitting somewhere, you can do this as I'm talking, that's great. Otherwise, do it later. I want you to break down areas of your life. For example, if you're married, your marriage, or relationships, your career, your self-care, your health, physical and mental, and anything else that I haven't mentioned that probably it's a big part of your life. And then I want you to score yourself from 1 to 10, where 10 is amazing and 1 is poorly. And ask yourself, what would I give myself as a rating score this year? How's my health? How was my health throughout the year? How is my mental health? Physical health? How are my relationships? How's my marriage? How's my work? How do I feel at work? Give yourself that score. And then what I want you to take the time, and honestly take the time, don't rush through this, really take the time. I want you to think about whatever number you have, high or low, what were the habits that I continuously engage in that brought me to this number? What were the habits that I continuously engage in that brought me to this number? So for example, if you scored high on physical health, I want you to know what brought you to that success. What may be at a 10 out of 10? So you might be saying Olga, I get up every morning and I exercise. I exercise 364 days, or I move 300, or I ate healthy most of the time. Whatever, so I want you to really think about it. And with the least helpful habits, or numbers, excuse me. So with the numbers that you scored low, what were the habits that brought you to that place? Were they negative habits? For example, if you consistently smoke cigarettes throughout the year, and that's why you're scoring yourself at a 5 in your physical health, that would be one habit. If you consistently had anxiety throughout the year, that's why you're scoring low on your mental health, was the habit, maybe an absence of therapy, for example, or drinking coffee, or, what do you think contributed to you getting that number? Honestly, evaluate how you're doing is so important in understanding what's affecting your life. Take a long look at where you're now in life and how your habits have gotten you there. Here's the thing, subconsciously or even consciously, there has to be some type of benefit from continuing to perform negative habits. And I want you guys to become conscious of what that is. Have you been thinking that it's time to join a gym membership, only that for your mindset? Have you been wanting to be a part of a community where your self-growth is what's being supported? Do you want to have a life coach in your back pocket, easy to reach at any given point? If you've been thinking that this is something for you, Reset Your Mindset might be exactly what you're looking for. It's my newest membership program where you have me on a regular basis answering your questions, where you will get monthly mindset trainings with some of my best tools and most recurring theme subjects in my coaching practice. You will also receive a work along workbook to move along, and you will have Zoom group calls with me to get your questions answered and to process some of those heavier emotions that you just don't know what to do about. If this sounds interesting to you, check out my website at www.olgasway.com and look for Reset Your Mindset membership program. I cannot wait to see you inside. What do I mean by that? Sometimes, or most times, our negative habits get reinforced. And so we just continue to do them because they get reinforced. Like, think about somebody who says, I want to, on Saturday mornings, get up at 7 to go to the yoga class with all my friends. They all go to yoga class, and I really want to join the girls, and it's what I want to do. And in fact, it matches my goal. My goal is to improve my health this year. So perfect. I really want to do that. But in reality, what happens on Saturdays is that I tell myself, well, Olga, you get up so early every day of the week. Really, you deserve to sleep in. That's one habit that gets reinforced by me thinking, okay, I woke up all early all week, I deserve to sleep in. And then I get to stay in bed. Well, that's also a reinforcement of this, I'm going to call it negative habit when it comes to achieving my goal of movement on Saturdays by going to a yoga class with my friends. And there is no demands of me on Saturday mornings, and I get to be in my pajamas, and that gets to be relaxing. So that's a reinforcement of me not going to that yoga class. Okay, I am not saying there's something wrong with you if you want to not rest all Saturday morning. That's perfectly fine if that's your goal. But if your goal is to go to a class on Saturday mornings and you're wondering how come I'm not getting there, I want you to look at the habits that you might be doing that also get reinforced by your thinking and the behavior that comes with it. So we sometimes consciously convince ourselves that we're doing what we want, but are we really? If so, how come we still have this lingering desire to be elsewhere? So when it comes to creating habits, the first step, you guys, is to be in alignment. When you ask yourself, where do I want to go? Like, what's my big goal with all these areas in my life? How would I like to feel in my career? How would I like to feel in my relationships? How would I like to feel in my physical body, in my health? What is that feeling? It's got to come from a real place of authenticity, that you really feel, no, this is how I want to feel. And then where I'm at from that, if that becomes my goal, where I'm at today? Well, you know what? Maybe I really do need to start thinking about getting up on Saturdays and doing that class, because this is my main goal. This is what I want to do. I want to connect with my friends and I want to move. And this meets all criteria. And that's when you can consciously begin to shift things around when you're creating these habits. If you're not in alignment, if you're creating goals because you think it's what most people are doing, but you inside your heart don't really want to do that, you're never going to create that as a new habit, because you really are not, you haven't bought into it. So the first thing is to have a sincere conversation with yourself. How do I want to feel about it? And what will be the habits that will take me there, as opposed to the ones that are not taking me there right at this moment? Once you've established that, it is so much easier to start thinking about the steps that will get you there. Now, I'm huge in creating new habits. Why? Because I coach people to rewire their brain. Usually, people who are coached by me do not love the way their brain is wired in some aspects. So maybe they're not confident enough because they've got a whole lot of limiting beliefs about who they are and how they're perceived. So we get to rewire their brain. Well, we can only do that by giving the brain new things to think about and obviously new habits. And the beautiful part about our brain is that it is doable. There is neuroplasticity. The neurons can reconnect. We can create new pathways of thinking. And it all begins with consciousness, awareness. This is why all of my coaching programs are based on mindfulness. I want every single one of the people I coach to become mindful of their existence, of their thinking, of their behavior. And so what you hear me advise in this podcast is very much bringing you back to a mindful living. So take a moment or two to really just ponder on the situation in your life that you would like to change. Are you engaging in negative habits from which you consciously or unconsciously get some benefits? And are you negatively reinforcing the unhelpful habits? What kind of things do you say to yourself that encourage you to continue to repeat unacceptable habits, unacceptable actions? And then I want you to think of that connection, that alignment. No, this is how I really, truly want to feel. And I want you to think of what would be the habits, the positive habits. And I call them positive just because they get you to where you want. And how can I reinforce those instead? Make a list of all the habits that are counter to your long-term intentions. And really consider everything. Like your tendency to watch TV when you're bored or stressed might be a negative habit. So examine all of your tendency. What gets you away? What gets you to procrastinate from what you really do want? Pay attention to that and then choose your new habits. In my course, Detox Your Mind, I go into so many details as to how you can create a new habit that I'm going to share with you here. Just a few tips that I found doing research for that course when I was recording all those videos. I realized that something has changed in research. Research has now found that rather than spending 21 days doing the same thing to create a new habit, they're recognizing that you actually need 66 days. And that when you do it in the same location, the new habit, it's easier to stick at it. And when you miss more than one day, you are going to have to start all over again. It does not help you stay in the creation of the new habit. So I want you guys to get crystal clear on how you want to feel in the areas of your life. What are the habits that you really have to tackle? The negative ones, how will you get out of those? By creating a new habit. What will be that new habit? Give your brain something to work on. And then I want you to set the goal to do this consecutively for 66 days. You can do it, and you can help yourself do it when you buy into what comes after, right? Like the benefit of getting in alignment or feeling accomplished. You can totally do this. Now you're thinking like, oh yeah, how do I consecutively, like what place am I going to work on my anxiety? Yeah, great point. Personally, when I am working on creating a new pathway, and what I tell my clients is try and do the same thing. So if you get triggered and you're anxious and the anxiety tells you that you're unsafe and you're working on it, you create a new pathway that says, no, actually all is well right now. I am safe. You can choose to do the same thing. For example, sit down. Always sit down as you're doing this thinking. If you are working from home or if you're in a working area where you can actually go someplace and always the same place to do this, you can do that. So your mind knows that that's where you go to calm down, to rewire the brain. So I hope you found this helpful. If you find this actually intriguing to you, I've got so much more and in so much detail inside my Detox the Mind course. It is a robust course. It is my best selling course actually, and I have just put it on steroids. Over the last few months, I've made it my goal to put as much as I could in that course because not everybody can afford coaching, and I understand that. But I wanted to put a kind of course in place, a program in place that almost supplies the me coaching. So there are more than 36 videos in the course. Once you buy it, you own it for life. So you have like these videos to come back to whenever you want to. There are tons of resources that you can download to be reminded of some of the steps that I work you through. I work you through how to set proper intentions, how to stop believing limiting beliefs, how to actually change them. I walk you through every step of honestly detoxifying your mind from things that occupy too much of your energy and mental capacity, like the self-talk, self-doubt, overthinking, anxiety, worry, and all the things that stop you from succeeding. I've done a lot of research to create that course, and I've based it on the common themes that I see my clients struggling with most, like when they come to see me. So that's their inner talk, their confidence, anxiety, over fearing everything, lack of mental clarity, tons of limiting beliefs, and lack of intentionality, lots of expectations. All of that gets covered into this course. You can take as long as you want to going through all the steps of the course, or you can go as fast as you want to. And we also get to connect through a private Facebook group. So once you purchase the course, you are able to join a private group where I come in sometimes to answer questions. So you guys can post questions in there for me. If you're working through something and you get stuck, you can always come and post a question in the Facebook group, and then I come live to answer the questions. And that can also be kept anonymously if you message me privately. Anyways, all of that to close this episode by saying that you, my friend, are absolutely capable of doing even the things that you think are difficult, like creating new habits and getting rid of the habits that don't get you close to what you want. The only thing that you actually need is the willingness. Are you willing to be in alignment? Are you willing to go unapologetically for what you want? Are you willing to do hard things? Because I know you can. It's just a matter of willingness. And it's a matter of finding the supports and the supports that allow you to do the difficult things, because I know you can. I truly hope that this speaks to you and that you find it helpful. And I would love to see you inside Detox the Mind if that speaks to you as well. Talk to you soon, and I will catch you at my next episode.